But this isn't what you think. What did Costner see in these women that went far beyond Hollywood glamour? Why did he place a struggling actress above legendary screen goddesses? And what does his number one choice reveal about the devastating price of fame? Picture this, a man who stood beside some of Hollywood's most iconic women across 4 decades. Kevin Costner has worked with legends. He's been the romantic lead in films that define generations. But when he finally revealed his personal list of the 8 most beautiful women he's ever known, the choices shocked everyone. Because beauty for Costner isn't what you'd expect. According to a longtime colleague who worked with Costner on multiple films, he sees beauty in a way that goes beyond the obvious. For him, it's about presence, intelligence, and this indefinable quality of authenticity that he can immediately recognize. But here's where it gets interesting. The woman at number 8? They've never even worked together. And the woman at number 1? She's gone. Taken too soon in a tragedy that still haunts Costner to this day. This list tells a story about evolution, about how a leading man's understanding of beauty transformed from youthful fantasy to something far more profound, something raw, something real. And what that story reveals about Hollywood and about us might make you question everything you thought you knew about attraction. Let's start at number 8.
With my daughter.
Wow.
And when the moment happened where the wrong envelope was handed to them.
Annette Bening. They've never shared a lead role. Never had those intimate on-screen moments that create chemistry. Yet Costner has repeatedly named her as someone who captivates him. During a 2015 Hollywood Reporter roundtable, Costner described Bening as elegant, sharp, and impossible to ignore. He continued, "What makes Annette special isn't just her obvious talent, but how she transforms ordinary moments into something memorable. She brings this laser focus to every scene that makes everyone around her raise their game." Hey. A casting director who has worked with both actors confirmed, Kevin has this list of actors he wants to work with before he's done, and Annette has been near the top of that list for years. He sees in her the same commitment to honest performance that he strives for in his own work. But what elevates Bening beyond mere admiration? It's how her physical presence is inseparable from her intelligence. For Costner, beauty without substance is just decoration. At number 7 stands...
A little bit about your character in the film? Yeah, I play Allie Parker. She's the head of the salary cap at the Cleveland Browns, and she happens to be...
Jennifer Garner. And here's where Costner's philosophy becomes crystal clear. They co-starred in 2014's Draft Day, and director Ivan Reitman recalled, there was this immediate professional chemistry between them that made their scenes together particularly easy to shoot. Kevin would come off set talking about how refreshing it was to work with someone so prepared yet so naturally present in each moment. During a particularly complicated scene with technical dialogue, Costner turned to the director and said, "That's what it looks like when someone isn't trying to act like they understand. She actually gets it." A producer who worked with both stars remembered Costner once saying, "Some actresses try to look grounded. She just is." The producer continued, "Kevin has this radar for detecting anything false or performed in someone's persona." With Jennifer, what struck him was that there was no separation between the person and the public figure. That authenticity, that seamless integration of who you are and who you appear to be, that's what captivated Costner. But we're only beginning to understand his criteria. Number 6.
Really? Wow. See, that's what happens when...
You had a thing with her?
Susan Sarandon. Their 1988 collaboration in Bull Durham created something electric. Director Ron Shelton confirmed, what Kevin responded to in Susan wasn't just her obvious beauty, but her extraordinary intelligence. Their scenes worked because they were genuinely challenging each other intellectually, creating this perfect blend of mental and physical attraction that you can't fake. A crew member from the production recalled Costner saying after filming their first major scene together, working with her is like having a great tennis partner. Every shot comes back with something unexpected that makes you play better. Years later, Costner was still referencing that quality. A writer who interviewed him about his most memorable co-stars shared, he said, "She had the eyes of someone who knew the whole story and let you think you were catching up." Years after Bull Durham, he was still referencing that quality in Susan H. How she could communicate complete awareness and mystery simultaneously. For Costner, that combination of knowing and revealing was the essence of what makes a woman truly captivating. At number 5, we encounter someone Costner has never shared significant screen time with.
Serious actresses can't have big bosoms. Is that what you mean?
Well, I think that they might sort of detract from the performance.
Helen Mirren, a producer who worked with both actors separately, observed, "When Helen's name comes up in conversation with Kevin, there's this immediate shift in his tone. This unusual combination of professional respect and genuine awe that you rarely hear from him about other actors, regardless of their status." During a red carpet interview, Costner admitted something rare. "I still get nervous around her." A publicist who worked events where both stars were present explained, "For someone like Kevin, who's worked with everyone and maintains this very centered, confident presence, to admit that kind of reaction is extraordinary." What captivates Costner about Mirren is her refusal to fight time. A director who discussed Mirren with Costner recalled, "Kevin made this interesting observation that most actresses fight against time while Helen seems to have embraced it as a partner. That approach to aging, gracefully incorporating each life stage rather than resisting it, clearly resonates with his own philosophy about authentic presence." Number 4.
Parenthood part is kind of the best dish that I saw in the script. I loved it.
Diane Lane. Multiple collaborations, including Man of Steel and Let Him Go, have created something rare between them. Director Thomas Bazooka of Let Him Go noted, "What's fascinating about watching them work together is this immediate comfort level. There's no warm-up period needed. They drop instantly into a relationship that feels lived in and real, which is extraordinarily rare, even among experienced actors." A cinematographer who worked on Let Him Go shared, "During one particularly emotional scene, Kevin watched Diane's performance on the monitor between his takes and just shook his head in admiration. He turned to me and said, 'That's as good as it gets.' Total commitment with nothing held back." A producer recalled Costner saying, "When she's in the scene, you forget the camera is even there." The producer continued, "That's the highest compliment Kevin can pay to another actor, that they help create moments so authentic that the technical apparatus of film disappears." With Diane, he feels that connection consistently, which is why he continues to seek out projects with her. Numbers 3 and 2 represent something different.
To speak English.
In London.
A good place.
Yes.
You know, you are a
Brigitte, Bardot, and Raquel.
The store. I bought it in Jackson in California, and it was a blouse. And I said, "Oh, it's such a beautiful blouse. It's too bad."
Raquel Welch. These women shaped Costner's understanding of beauty during his formative years. A journalist who has interviewed Costner extensively recalled him saying, "If you grew up in the 60s and didn't fall in love with Bardot, you weren't alive." About Welch, a colleague shared Costner calling her the reason every boy wanted to go to the movies in the 1970s. A producer who worked with Costner in the 1990s remembered, "Kevin has this theory about screen presence, that the most compelling actors don't seek the camera's attention, but simply assume it, creating a gravitational pull that's impossible to resist." Raquel exemplified that quality for him. These choices acknowledge beauty as cultural phenomenon, the icons who define eras and shape how entire generations understand attraction. But here's where everything changes. Whitney Houston, the producer of The Bodyguard, stated it plainly, "Costner didn't just admire her beauty, he loved her." What made Whitney special in Kevin's eyes was this remarkable vulnerability beneath her extraordinary talent and beauty. He saw in her something most people missed, the soulfulness and uncertainty behind the confident public persona. Costner fought to cast Houston when the studio had severe doubts. A Warner Brothers executive involved in the production confirmed the studio had significant reservations about building such an expensive film around an unproven actress. But Kevin was absolutely adamant. He kept saying, "There's something in her eyes that you can't teach. A truth that comes through regardless of experience." That conviction never wavered throughout production. A crew member from The Bodyguard explained, "The beauty Kevin saw in Whitney was multidimensional. It wasn't just her obvious physical beauty or her extraordinary voice. It was this combination of tremendous gift and genuine fragility that brought out something protective in him." He recognized both her extraordinary talent and the vulnerability that came with it. When Houston died in 2012, Costner eulogized her. Someone who attended the service recalled, he said, "She was the most beautiful person I ever stood beside, inside and out." What was most striking about Kevin's words was how he focused on her humanity rather than her celebrity, on the person he had known rather than the icon the world had seen. A director who has worked closely with Costner observed, "This ranking reveals something profound about how Kevin understands beauty. For him to place Whitney above legendary screen beauties like Bardot and Welch demonstrates that his definition extends far beyond the visual to encompass the complete human connection, the moments when external beauty is illuminated by internal light. Costner's list tells us that beauty evolves, that what captivates us in youth, the untouchable icons, the cultural goddesses, gives way to something deeper, the authentic connections, the vulnerable moments, the women who bring their complete selves without pretense. A longtime friend concluded, the through line in all his choices is authenticity. Whether it's the unapologetic sensuality of Bardot, the magnetic presence of Lane, or the soulful vulnerability of Houston, what Kevin responds to most powerfully is women who present themselves without pretense or performance, who bring their complete authentic selves to both their work and their interactions. But here's what haunts me about this list. Did Costner's protective instinct for Houston make him see her differently than the world did? Could he have saved her if Hollywood had valued the same qualities he saw in her? And in an industry obsessed with surface beauty, does anyone truly listen when someone like Costner tries to tell us what beauty really means? If you made it this far, you already know this wasn't just about ranking beautiful women. This was about how we define beauty itself, about whether we value authenticity over perfection, substance over surface, connection over image. So tell me in the comments, who's missing from this list that should be there? And does Costner's evolution mirror your own understanding of what true beauty means? Make sure to subscribe to Stars Files News for more revelations about Hollywood's biggest stars.